My gambling started when I was 12 years old, probably playing fruit machines. From an early age I'd been infatuated with amusement arcades when we'd gone on holiday.
My gambling started probably at the age of 11 or 12. I used to sit with my granddad at a weekend picking out horses and having a little bet.
My lowest point gambling was probably the last few days of my gambling life. I knew things were coming to a head and I was going to get found out, but I was still seeking to gamble thousands each day if funds allowed. My gambling addiction, when it came to light, had an absolutely horrendous impact on my family. My ex-wife and my children, who were 2 and 6, it changed their lives when they found out, the children. You know, they were young and at school, and suddenly their dad is a thief and a problem gambler.
I remember on one day where I'd lost my entire month's salary, threatened the bookmaker's manager that if I didn't get the money back that I'd deal with him. I'd sort of left the bookies after being barred, walking home, and I found £20 in my pocket. Realising that I couldn't go back and place another bet, I'd got no other avenues to travel, so I ended up buying a bottle of vodka and taking tablets, paracetamol, and if it wasn't for a friend of mine that had seen how bad my gambling had got, I probably wouldn't be here today. The one person that bore the brunt of my gambling over a 25-year period was my grandma. She bailed me out, she tried to help, I even stole from her, which I'm not proud of, and it's something that I've got to live with.
Through our own gambling life, we knew that there was absolutely no help or education out there to do with problem gambling.
Me and Matt had volunteered to go into colleges to talk about problem gambling, and we both said that we'd love to do this, but obviously we needed to form some sort of company. What we wanted to do was to go out, talk to people and educate them as to the risks of problem gambling.
We are doing this because, for one, we believe that education is the best form of prevention. Education will help them better understand this addiction. Gambling isn't going to ever be banned and will always be around, but if people are aware that it can become a real problem, then that's a help to them.
We're not anti-gambling, we just want to get out there and say, when it stops being fun, when it stops being just a pastime where you're just spending a little bit of money and it gets out of hand, this is where it can lead, and this is where you can get help.
Gambling addiction, compared to other addictions, mainstream addictions like drugs and alcohol, you cannot see any physical changes in a gambling addict.
I wasn't aware that Matthew had a severe gambling problem, and neither did my wife at all. And we were only made aware when he admitted it, when he was caught.
When Matthew came home and told us what had happened, about being caught from stealing money to fund his gambling addiction, my first reaction was, how is this going to affect the family, and how terrible it was. But I did tell him that we would do everything we could to make his life better and to get over it together as a family.
We have got a market that we're looking at getting into schools, colleges, universities, sports club, sports academies.
I think the presentation is so hard-hitting and so vitally important that people's just got to hear this. I think the guys are talking from the heart. It's quite staggering if you don't realise what a problem gambling addiction can be.
Very professional, very informative about the dangers of problem gambling, and I think it's a really good thing that they're doing. And obviously they've started this company to help others and educate others, and I think the presentation went really well.
What struck me more than anything was their passion to prevent gambling addiction and prevent people from going down the route that they've gone in.
We don't want anyone to go through what we went through, whether that's the individual, whether that's the friends or the family. If we can help one person, then our aim is complete.